Hello and welcome. Welcome to today's breath experience. I appreciate you joining us, and I trust and I hope that this experience will serve you well during this time, during these days. My name is Tziporah from tziporahintimacy.com. I'm an intimacy, communication, and breathwork specialist. And truly in my heart, in my body, in my bones, I believe that intimacy and compassion are the bridge. They're the bridge today to create thriving human connections on the planet. And one of the things that I want to share before we go into our experience is how breath then becomes the magical doorway or the tool when applied that we have the ability to feel these intimate connections, to feel not just at peace and calm and centered and grounded, because those are the outcomes. However, through that feeling of peace, grounded, and centeredness, what I have found to be true for myself, with my clients, is we then have more ability to feel intimately connected, to access intimacy, even when we are alone or with ourselves, rather than, especially in today's world where we are, most of us are in shelter in place. And so the breath is a beautiful, beautiful tool that we can use. It's right inside of us to access those feelings of intimacy, to nourish and harmonize our nervous system, as well as amplify and open up greater access to vitality and lung capacity and well-being. What I have found through those stages, because they are stages and steps, is then we start to, more information keeps coming in, but then we start to actually reach our emotional body, which often is constricted and controlled, which is then blocking that flow of intimate feeling and connection. So if we are stuck and locked in fight, flight, or freeze response, and I'm going to speak today into the flight response, into the sense of urgency, where it might feel like to you, I'm not sure if this is true, I know I have felt this before, where in that place of urgency, we begin to take action, we begin to be proactive out of the desire to help and be prepared. But somewhere along the way, the system stops regulating and we can get caught in that flight response that it actually feels like you might be 10 steps ahead of your body. And so while it might be challenging to catch that, that is the piece I invite you to pay attention to. Do I feel 10 steps ahead of my body? Physically, what starts to show up is there's constriction in the solar plexus. There's constriction in the chest. There's often constriction in the throat. It's literally like the body is actually physiologically pulling upward to protect. Energetically, everything's pulling upward again to protect. How do we come out of that? So we have breath, which takes us into stillness. And if we can then use our intent and intentions to hold us, to hold our hands through these potential uncomfortable, most likely uncomfortable spaces. And that might simply be physiologically uncomfortable in our body. Oh, there's tension, there's tightness that doesn't feel good. Oh, underneath that tension and tightness, there's the emotions that I don't want to face right now. But what I know to be true is we must go through them in a safe and gentle manner in order to come to the other side of them, where there's that grounding once again, where we have harmony and health and well-being in our system, So then we can start to make clear choices and clear decisions that serve the overall body and system, as well as I find tend to be more of an act of love versus giving out of urgency, because now I will be more available and present and fueling everyone involved. So, on that note, we're going to go into a breath experience today. What I invite you, if you are going to join us, if you're listening in, is to have a comfortable space, as comfortable as you can, whether you're sitting under a tree, you might be sitting, I'm in a tent, I'm in a wonderful tent out in my backyard. You might be sitting up. If you're sitting up, one of the key importances right now is that you're actually leaning and your back is fully supported. We want to make sure the back is supported so the diaphragm can find ease in opening and receiving in the breath, rather than constricting and holding the torso up straight and having to engage the muscles. You might be lying down on the floor, on a comfortable mat, on a bed. Wherever you're at, I invite you to take that space now to find a place where you can be comfortable, where you're warm enough, where you might have a glass of water nearby. And once you are in that space, I invite you to lie down or sit back. Allow the eyes to be closed. And simply take your two hands, place the palm of your hands on the lowest part of your abdomen, below the navel center, right where the soft part of your belly meets the pubic bone. I invite you to just have a little bit of pressure using the hands as your guide. And just begin to allow in a breath for a moment. Just let it go. Again, that's all we're doing. Allow in a breath again. And just let it go. Now I invite you to continue to allow that breath in as I speak a little bit into the process we are going to be utilizing. I invite us to allow the jaws to be open, to let that breath today come in through the mouth and out through the mouth. And the reason we go in through the mouth and out through the mouth, because it's going to allow us to access more volume in the lower energy centers, as well as physiologically in our bodies. It's going to allow us to open up more of the lower belly and the lower part of the diaphragm. So gently open up the jaw, and let's allow in another breath. And let it go. And allow in another breath. And let it go. And now continuing to allow in that breath, continuing to let it go. As we focus on the inhalation, I invite you with your mind's eye, simply with your attention, to direct your inhale, your breath, to the lowest part of your belly, where your hands are placed right now on your body. Begin to feel the gentle, gentle rise of the lower belly and the fall of your lower belly. And as we focus on the inhale, that means the inhale is going to be longer than the exhalation. And as you continue to allow in that breath simply into the lower belly, without a concern of how big the breath is or with forcing it up to the chest at this point, simply focusing it on the lower belly. I call this our inner earth, our grounding. And then we're going to begin to allow the exhale to have a sigh to it for the next couple of breaths. So as you continue to breathe, we're allowing a breath into the lower abdomen. We are feeling the rise and fall of your lower belly into the palm of your hands. And your out breath now has a gentle sigh to it, just letting it go without holding on to it, without controlling it, without pushing it out, simply trusting it's going to drop and the next wave will come in. So continue to breathe in that manner as, again, I share more of our process. The inhale is reaching the lower belly. The exhale is simply being let go with a sigh. The inhale today represents our ability to be open to receiving all our good, our vitality, to receive what you're personally calling into your life experience today. It also is allowing us to receive the sense of grounding into the lowest part of our body, almost as if you're creating roots with that inhalation. The exhalation is the letting go. The exhalation represents a wave, imagine as if this is a wave that's crashing onto the shoreline. There's no effort when a wave crashes onto the shoreline, it just happens naturally. And as it let goes so quickly, it simply is making space for that inhalation to happen, for that inhalation to come in, for that next wave to rise inside the body. And now I invite you to continue to breathe, and what we're creating this cyclic breath pattern. Allowing the sigh to gently find quiet. And simply to allow these waves to start to happen, trusting every breath that moves through your body. Imagining every inhalation is like a wave that's building, that's rising in the center of your ocean. And every out breath was that wave that's crashing onto the shoreline, making space for that next wave of vitality, of peace, of calm, of groundedness to enter into your body. And as that wave organically moves through your system, now we begin to find this place where the inhalation and the exhalation are fully connected. Meaning that there's no longer a pause between the inhalations and the exhalations. And why that happens is it happens in our surrender. And the more that we are able to let go of that exhalation without constricting and having a tight grip on it, without feeling we have to manipulate or control it, holding on to the past or forcing our future, it simply goes and connects again to that inhalation. My inhale and my exhale are fully connected. As I focus on the life-giving nature of my inhalation, I feel my body, my system opening to receiving this health, this vitality. And with every breath, the more I trust in the intelligence of my breath, the intelligence of my body, it's safe to let go today. In this moment, it is safe to let go of that exhale. I know that life is going to come in immediately on that next inhalation as I let go of my exhalation. Enjoying the rhythm and the sound of your own breath, enjoying the music of your own breath right now. My breath begins to rise effortlessly from my tailbone, to my upper throat. Every exhale becomes like a waterfall that's just cascading quickly down my body, being taken by gravity, dropping right back down into the earth of my body. As our breaths connect between the inhalation and the exhalation, I feel the connection between my heart and my will. I feel the connection between my heart and my will. I breathe in the ability to make clear, calm decisions. I breathe in the ability to feel joy and pleasure, even in this space of knowing clear direction. My breath is connected. Allowing our mind's eye to begin to drop deeper into the root of our body. And if it feels right for you, we begin to visualize as if we're breathing up from the earth itself, from the core of the earth, right up through our root, up through the pelvis, effortlessly rising like a warm current in a river up through our belly, our solar plexus, our heart, and our throat. And on every exhalation, that breath cascades right back down through us like a waterfall, quickly being taken by gravity, dropping back down into the core of Mama Earth. The breath rises up from the earth, up through our root, rising up through, all the way up to the very top of our head, and just cascades right back down through us. Rising up again, creating the cyclic breath through our body. Still allowing your hands, the palm of your hands, to be placed on the lower belly with every breath. Is my breath in the lowest part of my belly? Checking in with your system. Checking in with the rhythm of your own breath. Has your breath risen, been stuck up into the upper chest? And if it has, I invite you to slow down. I invite you to come back to the awareness of the palms of your hands on your lower belly. And simply feel the rise and fall again of your lower belly. And simply feel that regulating your system back into the rhythm of the cyclic breath. My breath is connected. I have the ability to make clear decisions in my life now. I have clear direction. It is safe to move forward. It is safe to move forward on my path. Acknowledging the spaces and places in my system where it hasn't always been safe in my life. And today I breathe into something new. I breathe into this newness. Today I breathe into that intention. I have clear direction. It is safe with every breath to move forward in my path. As my breath reaches the lowest part of my belly, of my inner earth, it is safe for me to use my voice. It is safe for me to speak my truth with compassion and certainty. I tap into my inner boundaries. I am able to speak and communicate with compassion, honesty, and clarity. Continuing to allow this nourishment of the breath, the cyclic breath, to move through your system. My breath is connected from my root to my upper throat with ease, with grace. I continue to surrender deeper into this flow, this rhythm of your own breath. With each and every breath, we call in the I Am Presence, the higher self, to fully manifest the performance effect, the embodiment of the highest possibility of divine right action here today. Under grace, perfect integration, perfect alignment and remembrance of the source within and around, and perfect acceptance of all our good here now. Continuing to breathe. I am connected. The waves continue to rise and fall in my system. As I open up to access this connection, this safe space in my body with my own source, my own spirit guides, my own higher knowing. We call on and invite in our higher selves with every breath to draw in a powerful and clear signal of connection. I am connected. My breath moves and makes love through my system, from my tailbone to my upper throat, from the core of the earth up to Father Sky, and down back through my body, my system. I am connected. Surrendering deeper into these waves that simply want to take you, allowing your presence to be with whatever is arising. If at a moment the energy, the capacity feels to be overwhelming in your system, if you feel emotion and feeling starting to arise, I invite us together to gently go through 3 rounds of sound and tone. One more time. Coming back into the breath, coming back into the breath. I trust my breath. I trust the intelligence of this breath. And allowing the body to surrender more and more with every exhale. As we call in the I Am Presence and higher self. As we open up now to receive all the gifts, all the awarenesses, known and unknown at this time in our space, that serve the highest of good for our journeys in this moment, in this day, in our lives. I am open to receive. I receive. breath simply becomes this gentle current. You begin to float on these currents, allowing the ebbs and flows to carry you through this receiving, through this connection. We allow the mind to soften into the heart. We allow any constriction, anything that the heart's been carrying. We invite now the heart space to dissolve down into the belly, the inner earth, your inner earth, to hold and to help and support you carry into your grounding nature. And from your inner earth, that grounding, allowing the body to dissolve into nothingness and into oneness with existence, with everything and everyone. From the space and place where true intimacy is found and accessed, and can be accessed at any time and anywhere. My breath moves gentler and gentler through my system. Dissolving more and more into the space of deep surrender. So we allow that breath to find its place, even into that space where breath is no more, where breath is a space of emptiness, no longer needing to think about an inhale and exhale, but finding that that bliss, that joy, that mystery within the pause. Within that pause, we breathe in gratitude and thanksgiving today. Gratitude and thanksgiving for all that was received and connected to, known and unknown. Gratitude and thanksgiving for all of our spirit guides, our higher self, our source energy within, for our own bodies, for our own minds, our feelings, our feeling body. We give gratitude and thanksgiving to all our ancestors who are showing up, who have showed up here with us today. And gratitude and thanksgiving to ourself, to yourself. If you feel the call to lie here or to be in your still space in the quiet of your home, I invite you to remain exactly as you are. If you feel the call to continue to move with us, I invite now for your hands to return back to the lower belly if they have left. And now simply find and allow in a long, deep, full, grounded breath. And a big sigh on your out breath. Again, a really big, full, deep belly breath. And a big sigh on your out breath. One more time, because that big, full breath is saying, here I am. I am fully in my body, welcoming my being, my source, the fullness of who I am back into this body. And the sigh is simply, again, that messenger that says, to the nervous system, yeah, she's here, he's here, they're here, they are here with me. It is safe now. And only if it feels right and nourishing to you, I invite you to roll over onto either side right now into a lovely seated or fetal position. I always get a vision that we're planting ourselves down into the earth and preparing to rise up and to grow, for the seedling to grow into something new today. And listening to your body system, listening to your nervous system, listening to the state that you've just created in your body and what it needs right now. If it needs to stay exactly as it is, please do. We honor that. If you feel to slowly and gently make your way up into a seated position, please also join us in that. And as you are seated, if you are lying down and you wish to join us from simply a lying down position, if it feels right, I invite you to mindfully and slowly start to open the eyes. And wherever you're at, I encourage you right now to, before even looking maybe into the camera, looking at me or who you're with, I invite you to look around your space, your environment, to look, if you're outdoors, to look at the colors, listen to the sounds around you. Feel what now might possibly be amplified and brightens. Notice maybe what you haven't noticed before. Maybe you're even seeing your space, your environment differently. Maybe if you tune in and look inwards, you're feeling your body in a new way. You look into a mirror, you might look at yourself in a new way. Your lenses, so to speak, might have just been cleared. I invite you to be gentle and kind and nourishing to yourself throughout this journey, throughout your day. Please drink lots of fluids. Just a reminder, I know you are taking care of yourself well. 80% of our toxins release on our breath processes. If you're feeling the call at any time to receive more one-on-one support, I invite you to reach out. You can come on over to my website at tziporahintimacy.com to learn of the many ways that we may explore together. You may most certainly send me a private message on social media. Usually it takes me about 24 hours to respond. I've opened up my schedule to be of more support to you if that is needed or you feel the call. There will be free live classes by donation for those of you who feel the ability, happening live on Wednesdays and Fridays. On Wednesdays, going live at 1:15 p.m. Pacific Coast time for this The Breath Experience, a guided session and journey. On Fridays at 1:15 p.m. Pacific time, our strategies for healthy relationships during our shelter in place during lockdown. We will be exploring different processes and practices on Fridays. Otherwise, I invite you to continue into your healthful journey, to be well, to stay connected. And I am sending so much love. Love you so much. Thank you for being here with me. Be well.